Now we're heading right north to this zone, which generally we'll call the Caprivi. So we're starting off at the Rundu end, and the big thing, especially for Namibia, that makes this area quite unique is the river and green. You get big trees, like you get real trees, and lots of water all year round. So most of the activities and things you do along the Caprivi region are featured around the river. That again, that's Angola over the other side there. The river is a bit wider here. This is the Kavango section. So this is the Kavango part of the river. It's a bit deeper and is famous for its very hungry crocodiles. You cannot swim in any of these rivers along there. There is actually one camp, well, unless you want to be eaten, of course, yeah. So if you're on honeymoon and it's not going well, you can just... yes. Go on, I'll take a selfie. No, I'll take a picture. Go on, deeper. There's also lots of hippos on there. It's also, so you've got the wildlife sighting. The bird life is fantastic along there. The wildlife and fishing as well. There's lots of fishing along this section of the river, all along that is particularly. So this is more the Kavango end. So Rundu, Kavango is the first section. That's the easiest section to get to. You can get to Rundu on a tar road, and the road that now crosses from Rundu to Katima all the way across, that one road is now a tar road all the way through. So you can do it in a normal car. However, as soon as you go off the road to any of the lodges or the parks, then it's four-wheel drive. So you have to be careful which lodges customers can access if they're not in a four-wheel drive. But most of the lodges are situated like this. This is a room, just looking straight onto, and this is, I think, Keososi Lodge. Keo, the Gondwana one. And yeah, fishing. A lot of the places will do fishing trip. You can either take your own tackle or they'll provide tackle. And again, just a view over the river. This is from Kavango River Lodge, and that's looking into Angola on the other side. Occasionally, you'll get a river like this. It's actually this part of the river is quite deep. Occasionally, you'll actually witness herds of elephants swimming across. So you'll be sitting there, and you'll just see them along the river, and then suddenly, and all the little ones, of course, it's too deep, because elephants, like hippos, they can't swim, but they can float. So they have to float. They take enough breath, so they float and they doggy paddle underwater with their trunks. So you see all these big elephants, and then you've got this little titty trunk just like coming behind them, and they have to hold enough breath to get to the other side. Otherwise, they sink if they don't become buoyant enough. But yeah, you do see some amazing sightings, and there's lots of boat trips. You go along the river. The bird life, the scenery, and the wildlife is spectacular, and you get nice sunsets. And for Namibia, especially if you've done a trip through Namibia, where it's dry, it's desolate, you then come here, it's like, pow, it's so beautiful. Just makes it so much more dramatic. And yes, again, this is that's actually, ooh, stop.
There's a lodge on the river that has a section of little area in the water where you can actually swim.
Yes, thank you. I didn't mean to mention that. Look, I don't have control. Okay. Yes, there's actually a place called Ngepi Lodge, and they have actually made a swimming pool in the water, and they've sectioned it off, so it's like a shark cage, but bigger. It's about twice the size of these 4 tables, takes up this area, and it floats on pontoons, and completely protected, so you can actually swim in the river. And if you're unlucky, you can see crocodiles coming underneath you. And there's hippos swimming around you, and so you can actually swim in the river. It's totally safe. The only people who got eaten there have never come back and complained, so it's fine. But that's just at Ngepi camp. Otherwise, you don't swim in the river. There's locals taken pretty much every week. So, oh yes, I did have no control today. Come on. Yes, so this is actually in the central area. The last picture here, the only picture I've got, that is actually Zambia at this side. So we're now right at the end, almost at Katima Malilo, at the end of the Caprivi finger. And this is an area, I was trying to get a picture because that's Angola, that's Zambia, I'm in Namibia, and Botswana is just over here. So it's the only place in the world where 4 countries meet in one point. So you've got those 4 countries meeting there, and basically all of those 4 countries have wildlife reserves. You've got the Okavango Delta, you've got the Zambezi National Park, and the Angolan Border Park on that side, and Mahango National Park on the Namibian side. So you've actually got wildlife reserves all around there as well, so there's a lot of wildlife coming and going. And it's quite fascinating. You can do boat trips where basically you can go and have tea in Angola, lunch in Zambia, afternoon snacks in Botswana, and then come back to Namibia. And you just literally pot around this little section here.
No snacks in the passport.
And no passport, there's no border control here. You see the border boat coming along? Hey! So yes, I mean, it's a long way to go, but it's getting quite popular because, or it's always been busy because it's a route through to, because Vic Falls is only 20 kilometers from here. So you can get to Vic Falls, you can go to Chobe National Park very easily from this point. So once you've crossed the Caprivi, a lot of people then are going in, they go to Vic Falls, then they cut into Botswana, round Botswana, either back to Namibia or back into South Africa. It's quite a nice loop round. But it is adventurous and you distance, because across the Caprivi is nearly 400 kilometers, that one stretch. So it's, you know, you need time to do the trip. So people have got time, it's a really good add-on. And I believe we're getting more and more inquiries for this area. One of the trainings coming up I will do specifically for this area. Because then we're in the... there's 3 lovely national parks up there. And basically the national parks there are an extension of the Okavango Delta in Botswana, which is their big pull. And there's a little section of the top section of it in Namibia. One section is available, got river for fishing in, for tiger fishing. The others are just completely wild. I mean, we actually went up there with a Land Rover, and there is camping sites, but there's nobody operating, there's no officials operating inside the park. So you come to the entrance gate, you may find somebody, you may not. You sign in, tell them how many days you're going to stay. There's no accommodation in the national parks there. It's all self-sufficient, pretty much wild camping. And then you go in and camp wherever you like, pretty much, because there's no staff inside the park. There's a couple of toilets, there's a couple of water points, and we drove this lovely little koppie, this little hill. We parked on the top there. We didn't think it very carefully because it had lovely surrounded with trees, which all the elephants loved to come and eat at. And then the hippos came out at night, then the hyenas came out, then the lions came across, and Jennifer and I are sitting, and we didn't have a tent in our Land Rover at that point, so we're sitting on the roof of the Land Rover where we usually sleep, and we're going, okay, maybe we'll camp somewhere else tomorrow. But it is really beautiful, the national parks there. But they are special and you do have to go prepared.